and welcome to my latest retro emulation gaming video. So once again we're going to be having a little look at a selection of games, this time for the original Game Boy and also for the Game Boy Color, which came out a few years later. Now this first one we're going to be having a look at is called Burger Time, and it's Burger Time Deluxe, which came out on the original Game Boy from Data East. I certainly remember loving this one in the arcades back in the day, and I seem to remember there was a really good version of this for the ColecoVision, as I recall. But this Game Boy version is actually really good. Although I'm just about managing to not get caught here. As I'm sure you know, the object is to oh, I got stuck there. Oh, got me. The object is to make your burgers here. Now, I've got loads of games. I mean, the fantastic thing with the Game Boy original is that there's so many games for it. I mean, just hundreds and hundreds, in fact, probably in the thousands, which is fantastic. But it's also meant that trying to select games to include in this video has proved rather difficult because there's so many good ones. However, got me. However, I think I've pulled together a really good selection of what I would consider classic Game Boy original games. And that's what we're going to be having a look at today. So sit back, relax, and let's look at some classic Game Boy games. I should say that this the emulator that we're using is called MyOldBoy, and it's fantastic because it does original Game Boy and the Game Boy Color, and that's the two things that we're going to be having a look at today. All right. Okay, so the second game we're looking at here is Robocop. 1990, this one. Ocean Games. Now we have to remember that the original Game Boy only actually had two buttons. You had your four-way controller and then your A and B buttons. So let's see if we can get this one up and running. Do we have to hit the start key? We do. Okay, on patrol in Detroit. Darn it. Stay we are. Well, they've got a version of the music which isn't awful. It gets busy pretty quick, doesn't it? So this is Robocop. It's a pretty accomplished shooter by the look of it. When you think what this was actually running on, you know, an original Game Boy, it's fantastic really, all things considered. Oh, looks like it got me. But that is Robocop, another really, really cool Game Boy original game. Couldn't really have a game of the original Game Boy without playing Tetris. To be honest, this was the Game Boy's killer app, wasn't it? It's just a fantastic game. I certainly absolutely loved it. Not going to spend ages on this, but you know Game Boy. Who doesn't know Tetris? I mean, it's just the game of the one of the games of history, really, isn't it? You know, And it was certainly the game that made the Game Boy such a hit back in the day. Fantastic stuff. And there's obviously various versions of Game Boy that you can play, of Tetris rather, that you can play on your Game Boy. And if you've never ever played it, well, shame on you. Now's your chance. So that is the original Tetris. So this next one is the Game Boy Gallery. So before the Game Boy, before the Game Boy Advance, before all the little Game Boy systems, there was individual standalone games called Game & Watches, which Nintendo produced. These are the first 5 that were produced. The most classic one being, I guess, Ball. That was the very, very first one. I used to have a massive collection of these. In fact, every single one. I had the full set of 59. Sadly, I decided to get rid of those because you just can't keep everything. And I needed the money at the time. And what these are doing, back in the day, Game & Watch were liquid crystal displays. And they had very limited movement. And for this original Game Boy, Nintendo did re-release this sort of simulated version. The originals were even worse than this, if you can believe it. But for me, they do have quite a bit of nostalgia. This is Game Boy Gallery. Okay, so here's quite a nice little pinball game called Pinball Revenge of the Gator. Why Revenge of the Gator? Honestly, I don't know, but it's a good one, this. I do love pinball. I mean, I've always loved pinball, so I think you're going to love this as well. So you use one of the buttons is your right flipper, and the other one is your left flipper here. Now, if you've seen my Mega Drive video, you'll know how much I do love my video pinball, and this really does remind me of one called Dragon's Fury and Dragon's Revenge, which came out on the Mega Drive, where you had lots of bonus levels and things. Oh dear, I'm not doing very well. Oh, the Gator got me. So when it falls down the bottom, the Gator's got your ball. Pretty cool though, I gotta say, and boy is this an addictive game. It has got that I just want one more go sort of feeling, because you do want to try and do better. And as you know, I'm using the iPega Bluetooth controller, which I find absolutely fantastic. Not that you're going to have much trouble running any of these emulators on slower devices, because I've got a Samsung S10, which is obviously a powerful old phone. However, pretty much any Android phone, you're going to be able to get decent Game Boy and Game Boy Color emulation going, because let's be honest, it wasn't exactly a system that put you to your test, put your system to the test. So don't be put off if you haven't got a fancy new phone, because even older phones are going to be able to handle this emulator without any sort of trouble at all. And as I said, it's called MyOldBoy, so it does original Game Boy and Game Boy Color, which is just brilliant. So I've got like a folder on my device with some have got Game Boy games in, and some of them have got Game Boy Color. And you can just flip between the two. It's brilliant fun. And I'm certainly playing games that I never had back in the day, plus others that I did have, and it's getting a good nostalgia kick out of it. This is one I never did have, and boy, it's just great fun. I have to say, it's really good. So give this Gator pinball a try, because as you can see, it's really, really playable. So the next one we're going to be having a little look at is Ghostbusters 2. Let's just listen to that music a bit. What fantastic quality on this emulation. This is just what the Game Boy sounded like, except it wasn't quite that loud. All right, let's have a go, shall we? So, there's the gang. Okay, we'll be, yeah. I think you play as two, so you have to play as a team. So here we are, stage 1, floor 1. And I think one of them traps. There we are. So one of them traps your ghost, and then the other one comes along and bags him. I think that's how it's supposed to work. There we are. Oh, is that a ghost? Yeah, it was a ghost. Now there's a timer here. I've only got 1 minute and 2 seconds. Ah, wait a minute. I should have gone in that door, I think. Yeah, here we go. And there was a lot of ghosts in here. Oh, it got me. Oh, that's okay. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. Oh, there's 2 ghosts here. Is that it? Is that it? I know there's ghosts outside now. That's pretty quick. It's very responsive, this. Come on, guy. You've got to come out with me. There he is. Right, here we go. Here we go. 24 seconds. We did it. Stage 1 complete. So that is exactly what you would expect. It's Ghostbusters. You're attacking and collecting ghosts, and it's pretty fun, actually. There we are. On to the next one. So this next one is called Battle Unit Zeoth. What a funny name. But this one comes highly recommended. It's a bit like a mech game, and you play like a giant, mechanoid. You fly, you jump, you shoot. Apparently, this is pretty good. So I'm pretty keen to play this one. Stage 1. Here we go. Okay, so that's my boost. Oh, I need to fire. Okay. Blimmin' heck, straight into it. This is going to take some time. Yeah, this is going to be one of those typical games that's going to take a little bit of time to get there. So I've got my fire and my boost. Oh dear, I'm not doing very well. At least you can carry on pretty easily. It's actually a bit easier shooting from the ground up. I think I need to avoid them. But if you like your mech games and Mech Warrior and things like that, then this is as close as you're really going to get to it on the Game Boy. So maybe we'll give this one a little try. And that was Battle Unit Zeoth. Okay, so this is the last original Game Boy we're going to have a look at game today. Then we're going to move on to the Game Boy Color ones, and I've got some fantastic ones there lined up. But this is Felix the Cat, which is another one I don't really remember playing much as a kid, but I did hear about it. So all you've got to do then, you've got your jump and you've got your punch. So it's a pretty cool platformer, this. I remember a couple of kids at school having this one and saying how good it was, but I could never seem to find a copy. I have no idea how rare it is today. Probably pretty rare, but you never can tell. I'm absolutely sucking at this one, but you know, we all have a good platform. And what I am trying to not do on my retro game videos is just concentrate on the obvious games. I mean, there's, you know, the Game Boy had so many fantastic games from Nintendo that they would be the ones that most people would want to get. But if you do want something a bit different, I'm hoping that some of these you might end up enjoying, and that's why I'm showing them here. Anyway, that's it for the original Game Boy. I think we're overdue to have a look at some Game Boy Color games. Yeah, this Felix is great. Absolutely brilliant fun. So anyway, let's have a look at the Game Boy Color. Okay, so this is an absolute classic, this one, which is sort of, I wouldn't say it's been a rediscovered hidden gem, but certainly a lot of people didn't know about it until recently, and it's become a bit of a hit on the Switch Virtual Console, because to actually own an original copy of this game is actually quite expensive. So this is what they call Shantae, and it is fantastic. It's a fantastic little Game Boy Color cart. So this is what we're going to play today. It's just a really cute sort of platformer. Got gorgeous graphics, absolutely gorgeous graphics, and you just want to play it forever. You almost want to be away on a 3-hour trip just so you can really get into it, because there's a decent little story to it as well, and it just comes so highly recommended. So we'll just play the first bit of it just to get you out onto it. So as I recall, that ship over there in the distance is firing cannonballs at you, and we have to try and avoid them, but you do get to see you get to see where they're going to land because of the shadow, you see. So the first job is just to make it to shore. Oh dear. We're doing okay, we're doing okay. We're almost there. So Shantae's a little... Oh, damn it. I don't know how best to describe her. What is she? She's sort of like a female Aladdin, in a way, in that she can... fly around. She goes around on like magic carpets and stuff. It's interesting that the version for the Switch, which I love, I actually bought that on the virtual store, is slightly easier than this one. I guess back in the day we had a bit more patience, didn't we? And if someone bought you a Game Boy cartridge, you felt obliged to really get good at it, because it's not like today with you know, if you download something and it's an app, for example, and for some reason you don't like it or don't get on with it, big deal, I'll buy another one. Not so with these. These are a bit more expensive. People couldn't afford to waste their money. It's certainly getting much harder. The revived one on the virtual console is nowhere near this difficult. But somehow I managed it. God, I thought we would have been at the end by now. There we go. I took my eyes off the screen. There we go. But although I've not really given this one justice, believe me, it's fantastic. Shantae, and this is once again for the Game Boy Color. Let's go on to the next one. So this one is called Toki Tori, Capcom game here. And once again, it's one of those ones which you may not have heard of, but it's certainly worth a little look. Let's see how quickly we can get actually into the game. A beautiful summer day on the chicken farm. Everything looks peaceful and quiet. Good. There doesn't seem to be any way to skip it, I'm afraid. Diddle-diddle-doo. Phew, okay. One good thing with this emulator, MyOldBoy, is the fact that you can get the completely free version in it, but even if you wanted to buy the legitimate paid version, it's like literally like a couple of pounds, if that. I'll just let the demo play a little bit. There we are, there's my guy. So you can sort of have a look around, see what's coming up. So I think I have to try and jump over that lake. Yeah. Up there. And it's just a Nice little platformer. And yeah, a lot of people highly regard this one. They say it's a real good one, so keep your eyes peeled for this one. And if you fancy a little go on the emulator, you can. So it's Toki Tori. So this is Conker's Pocket Tales by Rare. Probably heard of the character Conker before. Conker was like this squirrel with a huge bushy tail. And this is a top-down adventure. So you've got to pick up those little things there. And you'd be surprised at how deep this one goes. At the moment, all straightforward. Nothing too complicated here. Looks like I'm back in my house again. But you get the idea. So if you wanted a bit of an alternative to something like Zelda, then this potentially is an option. And this is Conker's Pocket Tales. This next one is R-Type Deluxe. Can't really have a Game Boy video without having at least one little shooter. So let's see how quickly we can get into this. R-Type, of course, was one of the classic games on any system, really. And the Game Boy Color had it and a nice little addition for it. So let's get going, see how we get on. There's my fire. Oh yeah, very playable. Very, very playable, this. Like a lot of these games, sometimes it's nice to know the layout so you can get to your power-ups and stuff. Cool, he took some shooting. Oh, darn it, darn it, darn it. I was going so well. Oh, thankfully I don't have to go all the way back to the start. Okay, what happened there? Did I get shot? How did that happen? I didn't even see myself get shot. Oh, it must have been that guy from behind. What a git. What a git. Oh, thank goodness, a power up. Speed. I got slight speed increase there. But you can see this is a pretty darn cool game, this, actually. I'm not doing anything with them, so I'm going to have to sort of fly along, I think. God darn it. Ah, I went into the wall. But you get the idea. This is R-Type Deluxe, and it's great. I have to say it's great. So this next one we're going to be having a look at is called Wendy Which Way. What a name, eh? Wendy Which Way. And you actually get to fly on a magic broom on this. Of all things, TDK. Who remembers them? 2001. This is what kids were playing 18 years ago. Yeah, I think we better have normal. I'm not 100% sure, but this has many similarities to Shantae with regards to people making it. So it might take a moment just to get into the actual game. And don't forget, if you do fancy getting one of these Bluetooth controllers, the Red Knight, the iPega Red Knight, They just are so good. I've done that whole series playing various emulators using the Samsung S10 and the iPega controller, and it just doesn't, it's so good. I cannot recommend it enough. The battery lasts for ages. It's just a great little wireless controller, something I've been after for years. Ah, yes, I remember now. So you can change the direction that you walk in. So this is a platformer on many levels, because I'm walking on the ceiling now. And this is Wendy Which Way. And this is well worth your time, because it's pretty good fun. So this one is Street Fighter Alpha Warrior's Dreams, another Capcom classic. And we all loved a bit of Street Fighter back in the day. Who didn't? I wasn't particularly good at it, but I loved it. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get in and not have to wait too long to actually get started on this. Yeah, we'll play the arcade mode. It probably won't last very long. All the characters are available on this Game Boy Color version. And although you've only got the 2 keys, somehow you can even manage to do little combos and things. So we'll see how we get on. At the moment, I'm not doing great. I'm getting the hang of it a little bit now. He's quite a tough opponent, but I think I'm not too far off flooring this guy. But when you think this was a Game Boy Color, I've almost got him. It's quite incredible. There you go, KO. Awesome. Street Fighter Alpha. Fantastic stuff. This next one is called Magical Chase. Now, this is actually a real scarce game, and this one I believe was only ever released in America. Sorry, in Japan rather. Definitely didn't have an American or European release. But apparently it sure is worth playing. Here we are. This is another one. So you literally, I'll use the joystick, it's a little bit easier. So you're knocking down the targets and collecting the little blue tokens there. Quite psychedelic, isn't it? Ah. Cool. So far so good. The bad guys have changed. These are taking a little bit longer to get down. Oh, and they're firing at me, so yeah. It does get progressively hard. Oh, it's definitely getting frantic now. I've got air surfers in there with me. It's a bit like a schmuck, a sideways schmuck. It's good though. That's good, but tough. I'm having to use all my concentration here. Not something I'm famous for. Yeah, those surfers, they're the hardest bit. Now you can go into the shop and get your little sort of power-ups and stuff. So you can sort of, I would like some more speed, or I'd like some more power. So if we go for some more speed, that's adjusting my broom. They all cost 300 yen. Select a broom, slow, medium or fast. Well, I'll have a medium one then, okay. That's too bad. Want anything else? Oh, I've probably not got enough money. Oh, well, no. Not to worry. No. Let's get me out of there. Going already? Yes, I am. So there you go. This is good fun, isn't it? This is called Magical Chase. Onto a new level now. God, these are tough, aren't they? Good fun though. Good fun. And I think that's probably a good point to end this video because we've been going long enough. So if you have enjoyed it, do please give the video a thumbs up and a like. Do please consider subscribing for regular retro content. I do love putting these videos together. I've got every single console planned, right up to the Nintendo 3DS. Although that one's been emulated, there's no actual Bluetooth controller support yet. But as soon as that happens, I shall be all over that. Don't forget, if you want to get yourself an iPega Red Knight, there's a direct link to get one off Amazon or one off eBay in the description below. You will help support this channel and bring you, get me to bring you more of these videos at an even regular rate. Thanks once again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.